Welcome to the second episode of this series where I share my journey of searching for my next luxury watch. Today's contender is an amazing and still overlooked watch which makes it very appealing to me. The Breitling Chronomat is a clean and instantly recognizable chronometer from Breitling. So let's take a closer look. Welcome back to the Watch Scientists. It's Chris, and first of all, a huge thank you to everyone that's watching our videos because we have just hit 1000 subscribers, which is an amazing milestone for us, and it also means that we can start to earn a little bit of money with this hobby. And that is really exciting actually, because it makes us be able to reinvest the money that we make with the channel into the channel, and that's exactly what I did with the first €1.60 that we made. Yeah, totally worth it. I better save the other half for nearly. In last week's episode, we had a look at the Tudor BB36, so if you're interested in that, make sure to check it out after you watch this video. But today's Breitling Chronomat really fits perfectly into what I am looking for with my next watch. It is a very clean dial, very understated, not much going on, and very legible. And in this watch we see also a perfect execution of a date complication. At 6 o'clock, so to not disturb the balance of the dial, and the date disc having the same color as the dial. Because the perfect date complication is one that you don't see except you look for it. The Chronomat is a very iconic model in Breitling's lineup and has been part of it for a very long time. Under many different forms, from chronographs with turnable calculator bezels to what we see now, a simple three-hander date-only watch. There are three things that are very typical for this model. So we have the onion crown, the rouleau bracelet, and the typical Breitling bezel with tabs. If I were to pick up this watch, I would definitely go for the 36mm version. The same kind of reasoning as with the BB36. I just think 36 is a great size for me. My perfect size is, by the way, 39mm, and 36 is really comfortable on my wrist. It looks great and I just like that size. On the Breitling website, the 36mm is under the ladies' watches, but let me tell you, just forget about that. There's gonna be many people, no matter the gender, that are going to want to pick up this watch in 36mm. It's a more traditionally sized watch, it's very comfortable, and you know what, separating our watches from 36mm downwards as for women and 36mm upwards as for men is just stupid. I mean, everyone can wear what they want and everyone should do so. And 36mm has been a great size in the past, and it's still a great size if you don't need to compensate for anything else, of course. No, just kidding. Obviously, everyone should just wear what they want and what fits their wrist and what fits their taste. Back to the Breitling Chronomat, what I really love about this watch, even more so than the BB36, is that it is very, very recognizable. It has the typical Breitling bezel with the tabs, and the rouleau bracelet, in my opinion, is one of the most recognizable and unique bracelets that I've seen in a long time. I know it has been part of the Chronomat since its beginning, but I really think this is a very, very unique bracelet. It looks incredibly comfortable. It is thin, yet it feels very sturdy. Perfect for a sports watch that also has some elegant appeal. On top of that, it really nicely tapers towards the clasp. The clasp looks amazing and there's no break in the bracelet, kind of like in the President bracelet, and I really, really love that about a watch. In spite of its sportiness, it's still very elegant, and this shows kind of how versatile this watch is, which is very important to me in my next watch. And I think this really could go well as a sports watch as well as a dressy watch. All in all, one of the most standout bracelets you can get at the moment. If you have another iconic bracelet in mind, leave it in the comments below. I'd be interested to see what you think. So comparing it to last week's BB36, a few things that I think elevate the Chronomat over the BB36. One, it is more unique. The BB36 with its snowflake hands is obviously very recognizable as a Tudor, but aside from that, it has a quite basic kind of polished bezel, and this 3-link bracelet is really nothing very new. While the Chronomat really looks like almost nothing else aside from the dial. Of course, the dial is very simple, so it could be confused with other watches, but the bracelet and the bezel really makes the Chronomat its very own thing. Second of all, we have the movement. Inside of this watch is the B10 with an ETA base again, which is the 2892-A2. But as you can see on the dial, Breitling actually tested this watch to be a chronometer. So you can expect the watch to run no worse than -4 + 6 seconds a day. On top of that, it has 4 hours more power reserve with 42 hours, and it also obviously has a date complication. What I think the Black Bay 36 has going for itself is definitely its water resistance, as the Breitling Chronomat only has 100 meter water resistance without a screw down crown. And of course, a big thing we have to consider is that the Breitling Chronomat is, as they say on their website, 4,400 euros, which is basically almost 2,000 euros more expensive than the Black Bay 36. I mean, yes, the finishing on the bezel, the case, and especially the bracelet is much more intricate than on the Black Bay 36, and it's a chronometer, but it's also a lot more money for the watch. I was actually never a Breitling fan. I kind of hated them, to be honest, but I really like what they're doing lately. I really like their Premier line, or already before, but especially now with the watches they brought out, with the annual calendars and also the rattrapant chronographs. I really like what they're doing. I think their Super Ocean line is also pretty cool, and especially their Chronomat line. They offer a few different dial variations. You can see them flying around in this Breitling presentation video. But I think if I would choose this watch, I would go for the 36mm with the white dial. I actually don't really have a white dial watch, so this would fit great into my collection. I think the mint dial is very interesting. I just wouldn't choose it as a daily watch. And like I said on last week's episode, I wouldn't really want to go with the blue dial variant, because I've seen plenty of blue dials and I don't need one as my everyday watch. And I think the white dial could be a very nice watch. It is very versatile, obviously, with the white dial and the stainless steel case and bracelet. And white dials always have this classy appeal to me, while being obviously very legible with the high contrast against the markers and the hands. If you would go for this watch, tell me which one you would go for, which dial variation and which size, or would you take the larger Chronomat that is actually a chronograph? Let me know in the comments down below. Today, by the way, I'm wearing my vintage Longines, which I've just put on a new strap, and I think it fits it perfectly, and it really has reignited my love for this vintage piece. But yes, that's it for this week's episode. I think next week we won't see an episode of this. I think next week we will have a different video, but we will see about that. Thank you so much for sticking around until this point. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you want to follow this series and this channel. And that's it. Thank you guys so much. See you next time. Ciao.